chapter 83 now, the Krishnabook. Draupadī meets the queens of Kṛṣṇa. And Daniel Prabhu, you will read?
Yes, Draupadi meets the queens of Kṛṣṇa.
Exactly.
There were many visitors who came to see Kṛṣṇa, and among them were the Pandavas, headed by King Yudhishthira. After talking with the gopis and bestowing upon them the greatest benediction, Lord Kṛṣṇa welcomed King Yudhishthira. I don't know if I'm
You're completely correct.
And other relatives who had come to see him. He first of all inquired from them where their situation was auspicious. Actually, there is no question of ill fortune for anyone who sees the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Yet, when Lord Kṛṣṇa, as a matter of etiquette, inquired from King Yudhishthira about his welfare, the king became very happy by such a reception and addressed the Lord thus: "My dear Lord Kṛṣṇa, great personalities and devotees in full, Krishna consciousness always thinks of your lotus feet and remain fully satisfied by drinking the nectar of transcendental bliss. The nectar which they constantly drink sometimes comes out of their mouths and is sprinkled on others as the narration of your transcendental activities."
Yeah, wasn't that beautiful? That was a very beautiful saying, right? So,
yeah.
So they are drinking a lot of nectar, and then it comes out sometimes when they are speaking. They're sharing the nectar, in other words. Very great.
I didn't understand everything I was reading right now, but okay.
Okay, so the point is that the point is that we have now, who is talking? Yeah, that's the king. So he was.
It's the king.
Yeah.
He was. I thought he was trying to give Kṛṣṇa a compliment, but I didn't understand. It was kind of confusing when he said, "Your lotus feet are so great, and we're all getting nectar out of our mouths and faces."
Yeah. So what's the problem of understanding?
Well, what was the nectar part? Why were they getting nectar out of their faces?
I'll tell you. You see, nectar. It means it's coming out of love. Say, for example, a man, he's together with his woman. I mean, a boyfriend is with his girlfriend. So there is nectar in the relationship. So in the same way, the devotee has nectar being together with Kṛṣṇa. Talking about Kṛṣṇa.
Like in good vibes?
Yeah, vibes. Vibing with Kṛṣṇa. Remembering Kṛṣṇa, talking about Kṛṣṇa. This is all nectar for Kṛṣṇa's devotees. In that way, it's even said, they get goosebumps. Didn't we talk about that yesterday? Yep. So that's why it's called nectar. Yeah, so basically, we'll just read on. Let's see. So it says, the nectar which they constantly drink. Sometimes, so this nectar coming from the mouth of a devotee is so powerful that if one is fortunate enough to have the opportunity to drink it, he is immediately freed from the continuous journey of birth and death. Our material existence is caused by our forgetfulness of your personality. But fortunately the darkness of forgetfulness is immediately dissipated if one is privileged to hear about your glories. Therefore, my dear Lord, where is the possibility of ill fortune for one who is constantly engaged in hearing your glorious activities? So in that way, even you are going beyond birth and death if you are getting into hearing about Krishna.
Wow.
Yes, so you are a very lucky fellow now, Daniel. Okay.
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So you like to read a little bit more?
Yes, of course. This nectar...
No, wait. You have to read from where I stopped, because I was reading a little bit further. So next one is, since we are fully surrendered. Yeah, I can read it. You can follow me afterwards. Since we are fully surrendered.
Yeah. Unto you, and have no other shelter than your lotus feet, we are always confident of our good fortune, my dear Lord. You are the ocean of unlimited knowledge and transcendental bliss. The reactions of mental concoctions.
Yeah.
In the three phases of material life, wakefulness, sleep, and deep sleep cannot exist in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, did you get that? So it means, we are living in these three phases. We are sleeping, we are awake, and then, there is the unconscious stage, which is a deep sleep. And then you have something beyond that, and that's the spiritual platform. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All such reactions are invalidated by the practice of Krishna consciousness. You are the ultimate destination of all liberated persons. Out of your independent will only, you have descended to the earth by the use of your own internal potency, Yoga Maya. Had to re-establish the Vedic principles of life. You have appeared just like an ordinary human being, since you are the supreme person. There cannot be any ill luck for one who has fully surrendered unto you.
Exactly. Okay, we stop there. So we need to always, digest what we are reading. Okay, so we get a question here from our new visitor, Manu Dama. Thank you so much for your question, sir. So he asks, how is Krishna related to us? Yeah, so if it's okay, I will just speak the answer, since it takes time for me to punch on the keyboard. So Krishna is related to us just like a father is related to the son. So it said, that God is just like a father, and we are like the children of the father. Yeah, so that's the relationship. Or in a different way, it said that God, so that Krishna is a different name of God. Very good. Thank you, Varl Truber. I'll just speak. Yeah. So Krishna is a different name of God, like you have many different names. You have Allah, Jehovah, the big one, the great one. Krishna means the all attractive one. So in that way we are related, that we are attracted to Krishna. And he is the attractor and we are the attracted. In another way it said that he is the shelter and we are the ones who take the shelter. Yeah. So we all need shelter. Just like if there is raining, we need to go under some roof. So to get shelter from this material world, we have to go to God. Thank you so much. So we'll keep on reading. When Lord Krishna was busy meeting various kinds of visitors, and while they were engaged in offering praise to the Lord, the female members of the Kuru dynasty and the other dynasty took the opportunity to meet with one another and engage in talk of Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So here you see there is some kind of development. So just to give you the setup, we are in a great place of sacrifice. There has been what do you call this? Solar eclipse. So that's supposed to be inauspicious. So in the Vedic culture, they are, they are all coming to do a sacrifice to counteract the inauspiciousness. So they do, they lit up the fire, they do, homa or Vedic fire sacrifice. And same time they're also chanting, and they also have Krishna Katha. So in that way, what was said here, that Krishna, he was, meeting the different visitors and like that. And then there was the females, they went, with each other, they met up, and they started to talk about Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So the first inquiry was made by Draupadī to the wives of Lord Krishna. So you can imagine how interested Draupadī would be to now hear, from the 8 principal wives of Krishna, what was the story, each story, how they got with Krishna. Okay, we get another question from Chaitanya Kumar Sharma. What's the exact body color of Krishna? Somewhere we see him in bluish appearance in stories, somewhere they say he's white, and some say he's brown, like most of the Indians. This is a very good question. Usually we hear that Krishna has the color of Shyama. So this is written in several places in the Shastra. So as usually we take Shastra to be the ultimate pramana or evidence. More specifically it said his color is Nila, and that's the same color as some kind of flower, I heard. So it's like blackish, bluish. So sometimes he's compared to this Nila flower. So usually then we will say that Krishna has this color. Yeah, blue, exactly. Kind of dark blue. Yeah. And then sometimes you see in the deities, you see sometimes you have white deity of Krishna, and then you may wonder, and sometimes you see the black deity also of Krishna, but that's because he's in the black marble or the white marble. I never saw that the color of Krishna has been described as white, so I'm not sure about that. However, there is something called Kalpabheda. In different appearances, he may have a different color. In different days of Lord Brahma when he's appearing. He's coming once in the day of Brahma, so we don't really know from the previous days of Brahma. Maybe he had a different color sometimes. At least in this day of Brahma, he had the bluish Nila color. That's actually very, very stated. So all the poets, all the devotees are always describing him as having this bluish color. Yeah. Okay, so where are we now? Yeah. So Draupadī, she's then addressing the wives. She says, okay, I'll try now and have her voice. My dear Rukmini, Bhadra, Jambavati, Satya, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Shaibya, Mitravinda, Lakshmana, Rohini, and all other wives of Lord Krishna, will you please let us know how Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, accepted you as his wives and married you in pursuance of the marriage ceremonies of ordinary human beings? Yeah, so now a question. Was Krishna a god or someone with extraordinary skill sets? Well, he was a god. He is a god. He is stated to be the god of all the gods. At least he says so in the Bhagavatam. He says, Aham hi deva devanam. I am the deva of all the devas. Yeah, and you have Lord Brahma. He has the Brahma Samhita. He says, Govindam Adi Purusham. He is the first Purusha. He says Krishna is the source of all the different avatars. It's actually said in, we use this book Brahma Samhita as Pramana. So that's a book from Brahma, creator of the universe. So he's actually saying that Shambhu is an avatar of Krishna. But I will not say anything against if you think otherwise, because Shiva is also another form of Krishna in that way. So as per Vaishnavas, then Shiva is an avatar of Vishnu, according to the Vaishnava understanding. People who are alive in this period doesn't consider him as God. It's true, because at that time they were covered by the Yoga Maya. So nobody could know that Krishna was God, because they had a rasa relationship with him as a friend, as a lover, as a parent or servant. So in that way they related to him, you can say in a human capacity. It's said that Krishna, he appeared playing the role of human, just like an actor. Yeah. Why we are considering himself to be Bhagavan is because the Shastra is saying so. So that is called Shastra, Shraddhiya. we have a faith in the Shastra. So
this
yeah.
actual concept of God is like the universal form, right?
Well, you can say yeah.
Narayan is really like I guess the God who is like in the Bible and stuff.
Well, you can say the Bhagavatam is it called in the Sanskrit language, and it has been defined by Parashara Muni in the Vishnu Purana. Aishvarasya Sramagrasya. He says,
like the owner of opulences, right?
Yeah, he says that Bhagavan, he's the owner of 6 opulences. Aishvarasya Sramagrasya.
I think that's Bhagavan is an even more refined definition of God than God.
Well, you can discuss this, like you back and forth, but it's called Vaishnava hermeneutics. So if you really want to get deep into it, you can read the 6 Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. He has the Bhagavat Sandarbha. He's describing very much what does it mean to be a god. Yeah. At least he is concluding that Krishna is God. Okay, so live is lagging. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. What to do? I think YouTube, maybe I need to pay YouTube to get better live coverage. But it usually doesn't last for too long, this lagging. Maybe I have to have a talk with YouTube how to update my subscription. I don't subscribe. Maybe if I pay, I will get better. Because I have my phone connected now. I've had full Wi-Fi. I don't know why it's lagging actually. Yeah. Okay, so we will continue reading. So, to this question, the chief of the queens, Rukmini Devi, replied, "My dear Draupadi, it was practically a settled fact that princes like Jarasandha wanted me to marry King Shushupal. And, as is usual, all the princes present during the marriage ceremony were prepared with their armor and weapons to fight with any rival who dared to stop the marriage. But the Supreme Personality of God had kidnapped me the way a lion takes away a lamb from the flock. This was not, however, a very wondrous act for Lord Krishna, because anyone who claims to be a great hero or king within this world is subordinate to the lotus feet of the Lord. All kings touch their helmets to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. My dear Draupadi, it's my eternal desire that life after life I be engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, who is the reservoir of all pleasure and beauty. This is my only desire and ambition in life." Very beautiful, yeah? And then the next, Satyabhama began to speak. She said, "My dear Draupadi, my father was very much afflicted by the death of his brother Parasena, and he falsely accused Lord Krishna of killing his brother and stealing the Syamantaka jewel, which had actually been taken by Jambavan. Lord Krishna, in order to establish his pure character, fought with Jambavan and rescued the Syamantaka jewel, which he later delivered to my father. My father was very much ashamed and sorry for accusing Lord Krishna of his brother's death. After getting back the Syamantaka jewel, he thought it wise to rectify his mistake, so although he had promised others my hand in marriage, he submitted the jewel and me at the lotus feet of Krishna, and thus I was accepted as his maid servant and wife." Christopher Prue, you remember we talked about this story, didn't we? A long time ago.
About the jewel?
Yeah, jewel, Syamantaka jewel, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, very good. So, and then after this, Jambavati replied to Draupadi's question. She said,
I think I'm going now.
Okay, so thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I also fell out of the story.
Oh yeah, no problem. You can always catch up with the video, or you can ask me later.
Yes, okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Catch up with you later. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, so Jambavati is now speaking. My dear Draupadi, when Lord Krishna attacked my father, Jambavan, the king of the rickshaws, my father did not know that Lord Krishna was his former master, Lord Ramachandra, the husband of Sita. Not knowing the identity of Lord Krishna, my father fought with him continuously for 27 days. After this period, when he became fatigued, he could understand that since no one but Lord Ramachandra could defeat him, his opponent, Lord Krishna, must be the same Lord Ramachandra. He thus came to his senses and immediately returned to the Syamantaka jewel. Furthermore, to satisfy the Lord, he presented me to him to become his wife. In this way I was married to the Lord, and thus my desire to be a servitor of Krishna life after life was fulfilled. Okay, we have a question here from Manu Dharma. Oh, we actually have two questions. One from Chaitanya Kumar Sharma. Sir, do you think there is someone among us in this world who could be an avatar of Vishnu like Krishna? The answer is no, because it said that Krishna only comes once in the day of Brahma, and he already came 5,000 years ago. Manu Dharma, a question. I have a question. If we praise a God who gets happy when praised and punish us when we don't praise him, is he evil then? Well, the good news is that we don't have a God like that. He actually is not punishing us or praising us. He is completely neutral. He's like the sun, it said. You just need to make sure you are getting under the sun, or you travel to where the sun is shining, and then you will be good. So in the same way, God is equal to everyone. You just need to come close to him by chanting his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In that way, you will always be happy with Krishna. Okay, so let's see, where are we now? Okay, so now Kalindi, she said. So I try and have a different voice for each of the 8 queens. So Kalindi, she has this voice saying, My dear Draupadī, I was engaged in great austerities and penances to get Lord Krishna as my husband. When he became aware of this fact, he very kindly came to me with his friend Arjuna and accepted me as his wife. Lord Krishna then took me away from the bank of the Yamuna, and since then I have been engaged in the house of Lord Krishna as a sweeper, and the Lord is treating me as his wife. She is definitely very humble. Okay, so after this, Mitravinda said, My dear Draupadī, there was a great assembly of princes at my Swayamvara ceremony, the personal selection of a husband. Lord Krishna was also present in that meeting, and he accepted me as his maidservant by defeating all the princes there. He immediately took me away to Dwarka, exactly as a lion takes its prey from a pack of dogs. And I was thus taken away by Lord Krishna. My brothers wanted to fight him, and later they were defeated. Thus my desire to become the maidservant of Krishna life after life was fulfilled. After this, Satya addressed Draupadī in this way. My dear Draupadī, my father arranged for an assembly for my Swayamvara, and to test the strength and heroism of the prospective bridegrooms, he stipulated that they each fight with his 7 ferocious bulls, which had long sharp horns. Many heroic prospects tried to defeat the bulls, but unfortunately they were all severely struck, and they returned to their homes as defeated invalids. When Lord Sri Krishna came and fought with the bulls, they were just like playthings for him. He captured the bulls and roped each one of them by the nostrils. Thus they came under his control, just as a goat's small kids come very easily under the control of children. My father was very much pleased and married me to Lord Krishna with great pomp, giving as my dowry many divisions of soldiers, horses, chariots, and elephants, along with hundreds of maidservants. Thus Lord Krishna brought me to his capital city, Dwarka. On the way back he was assaulted by many princes, but Lord Krishna defeated all of them, and thus I have the privilege of serving his lotus feet as a maidservant. Okay, so another question. Sir, you should be a voice artist. Okay, I'm getting a compliment. Thank you, Chaitanya Kumar. Manu Dharma is asking, Sir, if I commit suicide, will I be accepted by God? Well, it said that if you do suicide, you will become a ghost. So the answer is no. I mean, he's always accepting us if we come to him. But if we do something else, then of course we're just rotating in the material world. So we will need to then spend one life as a ghost if we do that. Unfortunately, it's not a good idea. Okay, so viral tuber. Sir, if God really exists, then when I will die, God have sense to understand that he will send to heaven or hell according to my karmas. And not consider if worshipped him or not when I was alive. Let's see if I understand this question. If God really exists, then when I will die, will then God have sense to understand that he will send me to heaven or hell according to my karmas, and not consider if worshipped him or not? Okay, yeah, the point is, until we actually enter Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhava, then we are taken care of by a very nice fellow called Yamaraj. He is Dharmaraj. He's taking into account our good and bad deeds, our punya and papa. So he has a fellow assistant called Chitragupta. So he's in our chitta. He's in everyone's chitta, and he's making a list of all our good samskaras and all our bad samskaras. So then, at the end of our life, we are going to the netherworld to Lord Yamaraj's abode, and then he's confronting us with the good and bad deeds, and then we are meted out respective punishments or awards for the good versus bad deeds. Yeah, or the other way around. For the good, we are getting awarded, of course, and for the bad deeds, we are punished. Yeah, so that's a version of the scriptures, such as Garuda Purana, which talks about what's happening. So hellish may be punished. According to bad karmas, we may have some hellish punishment, but it's never eternal. It's just temporary. Same with good reactions. We may have some heavenly pleasures, which is also temporary. And then we're back to square one on the Earth planet, which is the karma bhumi. It's only on Earth we are making karma. So when we take to bhakti yoga or spiritual life, then we are getting out of the karma cycle if we do seva to Krishna. Okay, so now we get a feedback from Chaitanya Kumar Sharma. Sir, English is our secondary language in India, so we try to make sense with our words so that you can understand our questions easily. Thank you so much. Yeah, please continue to do so. And I will continue reading now. So after this, Bhadra began to speak. She said, "My dear Draupadī, Lord Krishna is the son of my maternal uncle. Fortunately, I became attracted to his lotus feet. When my father understood these feelings of mine, he personally arranged for my marriage, inviting Lord Krishna to marry me and giving him in dowry 1 akshohini, or division of armed forces, along with many maidservants and other royal paraphernalia. I do not know whether I shall be able to have the shelter of Lord Krishna life after life, but still I pray to the Lord that wherever I may take my birth, I may not forget my relationship with his lotus feet." Okay. And any comments or questions so far from you who are in the Zoom?
Maybe I can read. I have the text here.
Please do. That would be great, actually.
Since then I have always been thinking of him?
No, now it's Lakshmana, the last wife.
Lakshmana said, "My dear queen."
Yeah. So you can try and have her voice. Yeah. You can imagine now that you're Lakshmana. Yeah.
Shall I read her?
Yeah, please read.
Then Lakshmana said, "My dear queen, many times I have heard the great sage Narada glorifying the pastimes of Lord Krishna. I became attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna when I heard Narada say that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, was attracted to his lotus feet. Since then I have always been thinking of him, and thus my attraction for him has increased. My dear queen, my father was very affectionate toward me. When he understood that I was attracted to Krishna, he devised a plan like that devised by your father. During the Swayamvara, the prospective bridegrooms had to pierce the eyes of a fish with their arrows. The difference between the competition in yours, Swayamvara, and mine was that in yours the fish was hanging openly on the ceiling in a clear view, but in mine the fish was covered and could be seen only by its reflection in a pot of water. That was the special feature of my Swayamvara."
Yeah, so not so easy to pierce that eye of the fish, right?
Even Arjuna couldn't hit the mark.
Well, somebody hit the mark, and that must have been Krishna because he married her, right?
Yeah, but I thought Arjuna missed. He
wasn't there. He
was able to graze it.
No, but he wasn't there. He was another place.
Oh, I thought for sure that he fired and missed.
No. Where did you hear that from? I never heard that. He was another place, and he hit the eye of the fish in another Swayamvara, and that was for getting Draupadī. He got Draupadī by that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Shall I continue? Or?
Yeah, please do. You're still
Okay, so
Lakshmana.
this-
Yeah.
Lakshmana continues. The news of this device spread all over the world, and when the princes heard of it, they arrived at my father's capital city from all directions, fully equipped with armor and guided by their military instructors. Each of them desired to win me as his wife. As one after another, they raised the bow and arrow left there for piercing the fish. Many could not even join the bowstring with the two ends of the bow, and without attempting to pierce the fish, they simply left the bow as it was and went away. Some with great difficulty drew the string from one end to the other, but being unable to tie to other end, they were suddenly knocked down by the spring-like bow. My dear queen, you will be surprised to know that my Svayamvara meeting there were many famous kings and heroes present. Heroes like Jana, Sanda, Ambashta, Shishupal, Bhimasena, Duryodhana, and Karna were, of course, able to string the bow, but they could not pierce the fish because it was covered, and they could not trace it out from the reflection. The celebrated hero of the Pandavas, Arjuna, was able to see the reflection of the fish on the water, but although with great care he traced out the location of the fish and shot an arrow, he did not pierce the fish in the right spot. But his arrow at least touched the fish, and so he proved himself better than all the other princes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
So Arjuna was there, and he didn't make the shot.
Oh, see, I try to defend Arjuna's
Yeah, me too. I
reputation.
Was like, Arjuna didn't hit.
Wow, you were right. I see you remember the story better than me. I'm sorry. I owe you really an apology there.
It's okay. I recently heard it. I'll just continue here.
Yeah, please do.
All the princes who tried to pierce the targets were disappointed, being baffled in their attempts, and some candidates even left the place without making an attempt. But when at last Lord Krishna took up the bow, he was able to tie the bowstring very easily, just as a child plays with the toy. He placed the arrow, and looking only once at the reflection of the fish in the water, he shot the arrow and pierced the fish immediately fell down. This victory of Lord Krishna was accomplished at noon during the moment called Abhijit, which is astronomically calculated as auspicious.
So that's around
At
12
that time,
o'clock.
a
That's
vibration
the noon.
of Jai,
Yeah.
Jai was heard all over the world, and from the sky came sounds of drums beaten by the denizens of heaven. Great demigods were overwhelmed with joy and showered flowers on the earth.
Hey, very good. Yeah, continue.
At that time, I entered the arena of competition, and the ankle bells on my legs sounded very melodious as I walked. I was nicely dressed with new silken garments, flowers decorated my hair, and because of Lord Krishna's victory, I was in ecstatic joy and smiling very pleasingly. I carried in my hands a golden necklace bedecked with jewels which glittered at intervals.
Oh, stop a
My
little.
curling hair
What does it
encircled
mean?
my face.
Yeah, okay. What does it mean it glittered at intervals?
It means like periodically they sparkle a little bit. Interval is like
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so it's very nice, very detailed description, no?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, continue.
My curling hair encircled my face, which shone with a bright luster due to the reflection of my various earrings.
Various earrings. You had
My
more
eyes-
than one. Can you have two earrings in one ear?
Oh yeah, you can have many. You can do them all the way up the ear.
Ah, yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah.
My eyes blinking, I first observed all the princes present, and when I reached my lord, I very slowly placed the golden necklace on his neck. As I've already informed you from the beginning, my mind was attracted by Lord Krishna. Thus I considered the garlanding of the Lord my great victory. As soon as I placed my garland on the neck of the Lord, there sounded immediately the combined vibration of mridangas, pataha, and anaka drums, conch shells, kettle drums, and other instruments, causing a tumultuous sound. And while the music played, expert male and female dancers began to dance, and singers began to sing sweetly.
You should have been there. Sounds very good.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Like it's a jubilation. All the demigods and everyone is very pleased.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, so nice. Very nice music there. Okay, I get a question here from Viral Tuber. If there are so many religions with different gods, how do you know yours is the right one? So we have to study the Shastra, in order to get the knowledge. It's the same thing as a lawyer. How does the lawyer know that he has the right case? Because he has studied the law books very, very much, so he can separate the wheat from the chaff.
And actually, the lawyer will always try to find something in the law that is agreeable to his own case, right?
Yeah, so that's why you need somebody who is a judge. So the judge is even more learned, and he has studied everything under his guru, who again studied from his guru all the way back to Krishna. So in that way, you need to actually have a guru who is supremely, judge of the scriptures, who has so much knowledge.
Also it's law of attraction, right?
Well, that's a different thing. But basically, you need to have studied the Shastra, where the gods are described, and where the gods are also given in the hierarchy. So in there, it's said actually that you have the hierarchy of the three gods for each of the gunas, guna avatars. That's Vishnu and Shiva and Lord Brahma. And then above there, the whole material universe was created from the three Vishnus, going upwards from starting with Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Yeah. What is that? Yeah.
It's like he's asking about by what metric can one know for certain that one religion is preferred over another.
Yeah, I say you have to know it by Shastra.
Very well versed in all religion in general, in the general sense. Like, what is the definition of religion, and try to understand that.
Well, it's called hermeneutics. Hermeneutics. You need to study the religious hermeneutics, and then you can make up your mind. You can choose the religion which fits your conviction. God has given so many informations in the books, but basically there is books, and then you practice according to the books. You get something called Gyan. It's called Divya Gyan, actually, not worldly Gyan, but Divya Gyan. It's revealed in our heart, actually, what is the actual situation.
Yes, and if you're very extremely patient, meaning you don't have any consideration about how long it will take, then you can actually imagine your own religion.
Well, imagine that we do from the very start, but actually this thing is supposed to be for real, because God is supposed to be for real.
When one is attracted to worship in some capacity, the prominent demigod of that particular worship will instruct them.
Yeah, but that's the point. The instructions are there. So it's not imagination, it's already given. I mean, you have...
in practicality, you don't even have any sense that you're actually connecting with these people or demigods necessarily directly. You feel like, I was just, walking alone in the forest, and suddenly I felt a great love and affection for the forest itself.
Yeah, so this which you are describing is called Shantarasa. So that's one of the 5 rasas. So usually devotees are starting off there, by feeling the oneness of God everywhere, and that Brahman is everywhere, like that. So from there, you will get then further, if you like to, or you can stay there.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, because many people who I at least find pious in religion is that they have a great love for everyone and see God everywhere. Even Krishna agrees, like, this is how it is.
So that's the common denominator for any religion, that one should get to that stage of universal love. And then some are called personalists. They go in further and get very specific, and that's where the Krishna consciousness is coming in. It's actually incredibly specific. It's actually more than we can fathom. Really, it's extremely specific, Krishna-centric. So anyway, I will read on. So now, my dear Draupadī, did you read that? No.
Yes, we're at my dear Draupadī.
Okay. My dear Draupadī, when I accepted Lord Krishna as my worshipable husband, and he accepted me as his maid servant, there was a tumultuous roaring among the disappointed princes. All of them were very agitated because of their lusty desires, but without caring for them, my husband, in his form as a four-handed Narayan, so he showed himself as four-handed there, immediately took me on his chariot, which was drawn by 4 excellent horses. Expecting opposition from the princes, he armored himself and took up his bow, named Sharinga, and then our celebrated driver Daruka drove the beautiful chariot without a moment's delay toward the city of Dwarka. Thus, in the presence of all the princes, I was carried away very quickly, exactly as a deer is carried away from the flock by a lion. Some of the princes, however, wanted to check our progress, and thus, equipped with proper weapons, they opposed us, just as dogs try to oppose the progressive march of a lion. Very nice simile, yeah? He is a lion and the others are just dogs. In other words, they really...
Not dogs, deer.
Where?
It says... Oh no, she was the deer. Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Okay, sorry, I lost the... Where were I reading?
In the presence of all the princes, I was carried away very quickly, exactly as a deer is carried away from the flock by a lion.
Really? Does that say in your text? Because my text says otherwise. We have different translation.
The princess again.
Yeah, because here it says they opposed us just as dogs try to oppose the progressive march of a lion.
Yes, but the sentence before that.
Oh, before that, yeah. Okay, yeah. So anyway, we are now in this sentence. At that time, due to the arrows released by the Sharinga bow of Lord Krishna, some of the princes lost their hands. Did you know you can shoot off a hand by shooting bow and arrow? This is appearing a lot in Mahabharata. They needed to have some really good, skills and weapons also. Even they said some places they are shooting off the head from the trunk of the body by a bow and arrow. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Okay, so and other fled from the battlefield. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then entered the most celebrated city of the universe, Dwarka, and as he entered the city, he appeared like the shining sun. The whole city of Dwarka was profusely decorated on that occasion. There were so many flags and festoons. So now, what are festoons?
Festoons?
Yeah. Anybody can check it up, or otherwise I keep reading.
It seems like it would be some similar thing to a flag, right?
Ah, okay. Another type of vimpel, we call it in Norwegian, right? Vimpel.
Oh yeah.
It's like a triangle flag. Yeah. And gates all over Dwarka that the sunshine could not even enter the city. Okay, I'll repeat that. There were so many flags and festoons and gates all over Dwarka that the sunshine could not even enter the city. That's a lot of flags. I have already told you that my father was very affectionate to me, so when he saw that my desire had been fulfilled by my getting Lord Kṛṣṇa as my husband, in great happiness he began to distribute to friends and relatives various kinds of gifts. So she had a rich father. She was a princess.
Just giving gifts in ecstasy.
Yeah, so the father gave the following gifts, okay? Such as valuable garments, ornaments, bedsteads, and sitting carpets. Lord Kṛṣṇa is always self-sufficient, yet my father, out of his own accord, offered my husband a dowry consisting of riches, soldiers, elephants, chariots, horses, and many rare and valuable weapons. He probably had a whole weapon collection, he just gave it all to Kṛṣṇa.
He presented all this to the Lord with great enthusiasm.
Yeah, so this is devotion. Exactly. My dear Queen, at that time I could guess that in my previous life I must have performed some wonderfully pious activity. And as a result, I can in this life be one of the maidservants in the house of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When all the principal queens, or Lord Kṛṣṇa, had finished their statements, Rohini, as the representative of the other 16,000 queens, began to narrate the incident of their becoming wives of Kṛṣṇa. So she's now speaking on behalf of the 16,000. Okay, so I'll change my voice. My dear Queen, when Bhaumasura was conquering all the world, he collected wherever possible all the beautiful daughters of the kings and kept us arrested within his palace. When news of our imprisonment reached Lord Kṛṣṇa, he fought with Bhaumasura and released us. Lord Kṛṣṇa killed Bhaumasura and all his soldiers, and although he had no need to accept even one wife, he nevertheless, by our request, married all 16,000 of us. My dear Queen, our only qualification was that we were always thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa, which is the way to release oneself from the bondage of repeated birth and death. My dear Queen Draupadī, please take it from us that we are not after any opulence such as kingdom and empire or a position of heavenly enjoyment. We do not want to enjoy such material opulences, nor do we desire to achieve the yogic perfections, nor the exalted post of Lord Brahma, nor do we want any of the all different kinds of liberation. Sarupya, Salokya, Sarsti, Samipya, or Sayurja. We are not at all attracted by any of these opulences. So, okay, what are these 5 opulences? Sarupya, you get the same body as Krishna. Salokya, you get to be on the same planet. Sarishti, you get to have the same, riches. Samipya, I don't remember. And Sayurja, you just merge with everything, with Krishna. So that means you don't have any body. So they're not attracted to any of these. Our only ambition is to bear on our heads, life after life, the dust particles attached to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. The goddess of fortune also desires to keep that dust on her breasts, along with fragrant saffron. We simply desire this dust, which accumulates underneath the lotus feet of Lord Krishna as he travels on the land of Vrindavan as a cowherd boy. This is very specific, right?
Yeah.
The gopis especially, and also the cowherd men and the aborigine tribeswomen. Who are those? I actually don't know, but anyway. Always desire to become the grass and straw on the streets of Vrindavan, to be trampled on by the lotus feet of Krishna. My dear Queen, we wish to remain as such life after life, without any other desire. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 83rd chapter of Krishna, Draupadī meets the Queens of Krishna. Okay, so we finished with the chapter. I just going to look up this aborigine tribeswomen. I guess, they met Krishna.
Native people.
Yeah, it's probably the natives of the place. Yeah, so they're not exactly gopis.
It's a different word for native. It's like the Australians are usually called Aborigines. Those who are originally.
Yeah, actually, we get filled in here by the Bhagavatam. The original verse from the Bhagavatam says, Vrajastriyo yadvanchanti pulindyastrina virudaha gavaschara yatogopa padasparsha mahatmanaha. So Vraja, or Vrajastriya, the women, Yat as Vanchati, the desire, Pulindya, the woman of the aborigine Pulindya tribe in Vraj. So these are the people. So there is a tribe in Vraj. Vraj is Vrindavan. So they are Pulindas. Yeah, so they were also meeting Krishna. I think maybe they're represented by this Kubja. You heard about Kubja?
No.
She was that hunchbacked lady. Hunchback. She met Krishna, and then Krishna he straightened her up. He just took her chin and just stepped on the foot at the same time. So she fell in love with Krishna. So probably she is representing this whole tribe. That's my guess. So they're not exactly gopis. They're not cowherd women, but they're part of the people in Vrindavan. Yeah. Okay, so this was very wonderful to read. Any further comments or questions? And thanks again to our good guests in the chat. Now first it started with 2, and now today we were even 3 in the chat. It was very great.
Yeah.
So all glories to you, and please bless us that we can continue this every single day, at least most of the days. And so with that, we again heading for seeing you tomorrow around 7-8 as usual. Jai. Okay, so catch up with you later, Prabhu. Haribol.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.